everybody, and welcome back to the vlog. Well, here we are again with yet another Roy story. So the last one I did, I liked it because I showed what an a-hole he was, and this video is going to be no different. But before we get started with the show, or the show and tell, I want to thank everybody who has been subscribing to the channel, and all the comments, the positive comments. I got nothing but positive comments. I just want to welcome everyone to the channel who's been subscribing, and for all those of you that haven't, just push the button. It's just I think it's the polite thing to do if you're watching. Just hit the button. But anyway, I also got a lot of comments about my best-selling book, Cop Without a Badge. Now, Cop Without a Badge was first published in 1996 by Callan & Graf Publishers. And then in 2011, when my ex-second wife, Danielle Staub of The Real Housewives of New Jersey, when she put my book out on the table of some restaurant with Teresa Judive and stirred up a whole bunch of crap and caused the table flipping scene. So there's a bunch of stuff in the book that I haven't covered, that I don't think I could. And for all you guys that have bought the book, and it'll help you guys understand who I am and what happened to me over a 30-year period. Long time, amazing things. So amazing that Universal, Paramount, MGM, Sony Pictures, Sony Television, NBC, Dick Wolf, Terrence Chang, John Woo, all these people over the last 20 years optioned my life story to do a $50 million theatrical feature film. And it never happened, and we're going to do a video about that. But like I said, it's available. The book is available on Amazon. It's also in Kindle. You can choose the hardcover, which is the first book that came out, or the softcover, which is the one published by Simon & Schuster, the world's biggest publisher. So there must be something to these stories. I don't know. What do you think? So now, enough of the commercial. Let's get into Roy and Joey Bikini. You guys really have to go back to the other videos to understand who they are. Joey Bikini was a made man from the Lucchese crime family in 1974. And in 1974, Roy DeMeo was nothing but a wannabe. I think he had one hit under his belt. Some Jewish guy in a restaurant in Queens he whacked in the broad daylight. But he was a wannabe. Joey Bikini was the real deal. And I worked for him. Now, did I know Joey was a mafioso? No. I just got out of jail and I started working for him. And again, how that happened is in the other videos. I'm not going to keep going back and forth. So anyway, I was always a car buff and an enthusiast. And I made it my business to know everything about a car, especially fast ones. And especially vehicle identification numbers, where the secret numbers were, how to tag a car, which means you take a crash car, one you buy from an insurance company, and don't forget, back in 1974, there was no titles. In 1974, New York State became a title state, but prior to that, all those other cars had no titles. There was no titles. It was just sign over the registration when you bought it from the insurance company, all junked, and then you went right out and you stole another car, took that VIN plate off the dashboard, and simply put it on the car that you stole, sold the car, end of story. So that's where we are now. Roy DeMeo was very much into stolen cars. His boy Chris, they were big into stealing cars, and they led Joey Bikini, who knew crap about the car business. So you had Roy DeMeo, and you had this guy named Jimmy Nace. Now Jimmy Nace, we learned, died in 2012, and he was very tight with Joey. So now these two guys are teaching Joey the crooked end of the automotive industry. And I was just a kid that just got out of jail for stealing cars and leading New York City police on a wild car chase. So that's how they basically looked at me. They didn't think I knew what I knew, which turns out to be more than what Roy DeMeo knew. So this is what happened. I worked for Joey Bricchini at his make-believe body shop in South Jamaica, Queens, from the end of '73 into the end of '74. Where, as I said, he was trying to learn the car business, buying wrecked cars, tagging them, and doing all that other kind of crap. So they just thought of me as just a car thief, a stupid kid. I was a stupid Irish kid. These are all Italian people. I was just a stupid, wild, crazy kid, but I was a stand-up kid, because when I went to jail in 1971, I didn't snitch on anybody. And that's when I barely met Joey in 1971. So anyway, so now I'm working for Joey. He's giving me $150 a week. I'd wash cars, clean the bathroom, wash the floor, picked up cars, and then at nighttime I'd stole cars for him. And he gave me $250 for each car that I stole, and so on. So now I'm ready to go home. It's in the middle of the week, and I see this beautiful 1971 right here Chrysler 300. But this one had a white top, white interior. It was cream, and it only had like 3,000 miles on it. And it was beautiful. And one of Roy's boys pulled the car in, and I was checking it out. And it was just a beautiful car. Look how beautiful this car is. This car is just gorgeous. So I leave. I come back in the morning. About 11 o'clock I get there. And I'm walking towards that car. It was still parked in the same spot, except this time the windshield was out. And it was on the roof of the car. Roy was standing to the left of the car, the passenger side, and Joey was on the right side. So as I'm walking up to the car, I stopped. Now I know damn well why they took the windshield out, to get the tag off and to put their tag on. So I'm 15 feet away and I stop. 15 feet is approximately a car length. And I stopped and I went, whoa, what the, Joey, what is this? And he goes, well, what are you doing? I said, what the fuck? You're not, that ain't right. And I'm pointing at the VIN number. Now, the expert, Roy DeMeo, didn't know crap, is giving me this dirty, homicidal look. He was just wishing if nobody was there and I wasn't Joey's boy, he would pop me one right in the head. But I didn't know that then, but I know it now. So he goes, what are you talking about? I says, dude, fuck it. What do you mean, what am I talking about? You can't let that car go out like that. You'll get busted. And they go, what the fuck are you talking about? I'm talking about the VIN. I can see that those rivets are pop rivets. They're silver. The VIN plate is black, and the dashboard is black. Okay? So from 15 feet away, so the VIN number is on the driver's side, and it's about this big. And I can see that it's pop rivets. Now, pop rivets, we're going to show you. We're going to show you what pop rivets are, and we're going to tell you what the rivets were supposed to be on them. Number one, the rivets are supposed to be painted black, so you shouldn't have seen anything. When you see those two diamonds, steel, silverish rivets, I could tell right away those don't belong on there. And then when you get closer, you could tell the head of the rivet is circular. It's a pop rivet. Now what belongs on there is either a star-shaped rivet, a mushroom rivet, or a rivet that looks like flowers. Now I can't remember. Ford had a different type of design for their rivets, General Motors and Chrysler, right? So we happened to have a car. It was a Plymouth Swinger or a Dodge Swinger. It was a little thing that we bought from the insurance company. It was a rent-a-car that got stolen and stripped. So that car is right there with the windshield in it. And this Roy goes, he don't know what the fuck, and he's yelling at me. Who the F are you? Mind your fucking business. I said, Joey, this is my business. I work here. That's my boss. This car's in. I don't know what you guys are doing. I don't care. But I got to tell him that that tag job ain't right. And any traffic cop, you ever drove that car into the city and they stopped you in the traffic trap? If I can see it from 15 feet away, so can a cop. You'll get busted. That's it. And it'll kick right back to this shop because you bought the car, from Empire Mutual Insurance Company. That's we had a hook. We were buying all their totaled out cars and just tagging them. So Joey walks up to the front and he goes, "Shut up. Let the kid talk." I said, "Joey, this is not right." And then he goes, I've done a dozen of these. I've sold those cars to my friends and my relatives," that he said, "and I never had a problem." Oh, yeah? Let me get to that. So I said, "Joey, that's wrong. You could clearly see the contrast between the silver pop rivet and what this is supposed to be." So I take Joey by the hand and I walk him over to the little junk car that we had there. That's what the tag is supposed to look like. You see what I mean? Look closely. Look at the mushroom. Look closely. And he goes, "The kid is right." And I said, "Don't worry. I got a guy for $125 a rivet, $250. We can get you the right rivets." I had a friend of mine at that time worked in the Linden assembly plant, GM assembly plant in Linden, New Jersey. And he had a whole box of them and I would buy them. But you know what? But I didn't tell Joey any of this stuff. He just thought I was a car thief. He didn't know I knew how to tag cars better than that idiot. So anyway, so now Roy is downplaying. Nobody's gonna see that. I got 12 of my friends. I got relatives that got that car. They've had them for years. I said, okay. That's a kickback waiting to happen. If any one of those 12 cars that you sold that were past registered in your name, especially to your relatives, say that car got stolen, right? And then the police recover it. Legitimately gets stolen, then the police recover it. They take that car to a place called Whitestone Pound in Whitestone, Queens, New York. They put that car in there. Every single car that goes through that gate does not come out unless they search for true VIN. They go for the hidden serial numbers on the motor, transmission, frame, or the unibody. And so no car leaves without that happening. That's one way you could get caught. The other way is, say you were driving and you couldn't prove proof of insurance to a cop. The cop would call a tow truck, tow your car. Yep, Whitestone Pound. And no matter what it goes in there for, it doesn't come out without the true VIN being written on the windshield. So now, Joey and Roy are going, "Oh crap." He tells his body shop guy, take my tag off, because now that tag that was put on that Chrysler is Joey's tag. He owns that serial number. Get it off. Get it off. So they took it off. Anyway, so I don't want to get ahead of my story. So now I just showed up, Roy DeMeo, really bad, in front of Joey and even the two guys in the body shop guys. I showed them up and I shined like a star. Star rivets, shine like a star. I don't know. But anyway, so now Roy is thinking that, oh shit, what do I do now? And I says, listen, if the registration was in your name at the time you sold it to all these people, that car's gonna kick back. That's 12 kickbacks hanging over your head. You gotta pull them back. You gotta go there, we gotta steal them back. We gotta take the VIN number off, take the plates off, scrape the serial number off the inspection sticker, the perforated numbers, that goes back to that car, and then just leave them. And when the police recovers that car and search for true VIN number, because there's no vehicle identification number in the dashboard, it will go back to the legitimate owner and you're off the hook. I think that was pretty good. So now the second half of this story is going to be when I save Roy's ass. And again, if you guys, for all you guys that have been subscribing and making those positive comments, I really want you to know how much I appreciate it. And of course, I responded to every one of them. And again, here's my book. It'll better explain who I am. And it's a good read. Hey, Emmy Award-winning writer, Charles Kipps. IMDb him. You'll see who he is. No joke. Whew. I think I talked too much. Anyway, have a great day, and thank you all, and God bless.